Bună dimineața, sesiunea numărul 14, Valurile Inteligenței Artificiale. Adrian Dragomir, fondatorul Termene, live de la Nuba Mamaia. Astăzi avem a doua zi cu un pic de nor, sperăm noi că fără ploaie. Valurile Inteligenței Artificiale, 24 de sesiuni, am ajuns la numărul 14. Urmează încă 10 sesiuni, la fel de interesante, provocatoare, cu foarte, foarte multe exemple concrete, practice, despre cum folosim această tehnologie și cum o implementăm, cum o integrăm în companiile din România, astfel încât să nu ratăm această incredibilă oportunitate pe care inteligența artificială ne oferă. Am două anunțuri de făcut. Mâine, sesiunea de mâine, va fi ținută de către invitatul nostru Dave, împreună cu CTO-ul de la Termene, împreună cu Alexandru Mărăcineanu, și vor intra și mai deep în anumite exemple, vor arăta cum se pot implementa aceste tehnologii cu canalele de comunicare pe care companiile noastre le au deja, că e vorba de Teams, de Slack sau orice alte canale de comunicare folosim. Și din păcate sesiunea de joi, 10 august, în care trebuia să vină Răzvan, se va ține, dar Răzvan, din motive extrem de relevante și puternice, nu mai poate ajunge aici, așa că a trebuit să apelăm, să îl aducem pe prietenul și pe partenerul nostru, Mihai, vânătorul de la DVF, mai repede decât ne-am propus. Vestea bună este că eram pregătiți cumva pentru astfel de scenarii. Când îți asumi 24 de sesiuni cu 24 de oameni diferiți, bineînțeles că viața mai apare din când în când și spune cuvântul. Vreau să le mulțumesc și lui Răzvan pentru implicarea în acest proiect și pentru că este în continuare alături de noi, dar și tuturor celorlalți care și-au luat din timpul lor și care au venit aici cu noi, sau vouă cei care ne urmăresc și mai ales vouă cei care vă duceți și povestiți mai departe prietenilor, angajaților, partenerilor, familiei acasă, despre această tehnologie și despre ce ați văzut că se poate integra aici. Am început deja să văd în ultimele zile mai multe postări despre AI din partea antreprenorilor din România, lucru care nu face altceva decât să mă bucure. Deci, joi va fi o sesiune cu Mihai, vânătorul de la DVF. Vor fi din nou lucruri practice, integrate, implementate în companiile din România. Vă reamintesc, DVF este una din cele mai mari agenții de social media și PPC din România și sunt prietenii și partenerii noștri de foarte, foarte mulți ani. Iar de luni, Adrian Dragomir, adică eu, revin în forță. Mai avem încă 2 săptămâni cu sesiuni în care vom discuta de cyber security, vom discuta despre legal, vom mai avea o sesiune în medicină, să vedem cum AI-ul impactează medicina. Astea fiind spuse, vă aștept în continuare aici la mare, cu excepția zilei de astăzi și de mâine, când, datorită unui eveniment nefericit în familie, trebuie să ajung până la casă. Dar mă întorc mâine seară, deci de joi sunt aici, vă aștept joi, vineri, sâmbătă, duminică, până pe 24. În weekend este mare party, white party, în zonă, vă aștept și la aceste parturi. Astea fiind spuse, dragilor, Dave, welcome. Thank you again for being here. I'm glad that you still like Romania. You're still smiling.
I'm still here. I haven't left
You're still
yet.
here. Yeah. The food is getting better every day, as we've seen last night.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really happy because after, like, this is session number 14, things were from really, really bad gradually to better and better and better and better. And luckily, your session yesterday, everything was perfect. People back home, for sure, they don't know what's behind the scenes, and I never told these guys, but as I've told you, in the first week, we forgot to record all the sessions.
Yeah.
So the first 4 sessions, we only have them online because we basically forgot to record it. And then we had all kind of problems, but as I've said, luckily from day to day, we learned, we improved, and now we are perfect. Yesterday everything was perfect, and it culminated last night with very good food. We changed the restaurant, guys. We moved to Nava, which is a very nice restaurant.
Really good restaurant.
Dave, what are we going to do today?
All right. Okay. So in today's session, we're basically going to continue where we left off yesterday. So really, yesterday we went into kind of like the fundamentals of how you can build applications with large language models. So we started really like low level, high level, and then also talked about the fundamentals of LangChain, which is the framework we can use to piece everything together. And for today's session, I really want to show some examples, make it more practical. Also for businesses, for entrepreneurs maybe watching, really get their creative brain like starting to think about what are the applications what's
possible,
what you can do with this. So I'm gonna walk you all through some coding examples, but then really still make it so that everyone should be able to understand high level what's going on. Just understand, okay, this is what we're doing, this is the input, this is the information that we're getting back, and then, okay, so this is how I could potentially turn that into an application. So that's basically the plan for today. So let's see, I have a few points that I want to cover depending on how long it takes and how deep we get into all of the things, but mainly I want to start by working with document loaders and the vector stores, really giving some examples of what that looks like if we take a practical example.
Can we make a quick reminder what's a document loader and what's a vector stores?
Yeah. So for those of you that haven't watched yesterday's session or already forgot because it's quite technical, of course. So the document loaders are basically little tools that we use to load any kind of data or documents. So this could be PDF files, this could be a website, this could be CSV or an Excel file, any kind of data that you have in your own company, for example. Images, not right now. So you could potentially build something for that, but since we're working with language models,
so basically
that's the main use.
Language,
exactly.
Basically
Yeah. Okay. So that is the loaders that you can use to take your own data and then combine that with the AI to do something with it, ask questions, get information from it.
The key point that I see here is that you mentioned PDF, you mentioned CSV, you mentioned HTML or websites.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if the information is structured or unstructured. That's the beauty of this thing.
That's the beauty of this thing. And so I've on the second bullet over here that you can see we also have working with structured data. So there are some things that you have to consider when you're working with structured data, which I will show you some examples for. So out of the box, these large language models tend to work really well with just unstructured data, which it could be text, PDFs, like I said, the websites, and structured data would be everything nice and neat in a column. So you can think of an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
So
or
that
MySQL databases.
Yeah, or a database that's structured data. Everything is nice into their columns. And
if it's a table, it's a structured data.
And the kind of like the funny thing is, so typically when you build applications, you want to work with structured data because it's easier to build applications around that. But actually with the use cases we're seeing that right now with large language models, it's actually easier to work with unstructured data because these models can make sense of text. So that's quite interesting, and I will show you some examples of how we can still work with unstructured data.
Now that you mentioned it, I can see why, because unstructured data has context.
Yeah.
Structured data, you have context only in the column name, and if the column name is not defined well, or you cannot understand it, or it's, I don't know, acronym or something like that, you cannot understand it.
Exactly.
But in unstructured data, the entire context is there, so the models can understand this. Really interesting. Yeah. I said this a couple of times during these sessions that 90% of the information available online is unstructured data right now, which is huge.
Wow.
Huge.
Yeah, that's really interesting to say what you're saying about the context. Also, usually with what you see with structured data, so with databases and Excel sheets, is there can be also like lots of data. So for example, thousands, or even millions of rows of data. And like we discussed yesterday, right now the APIs still have this limitation of token size. So you cannot just send everything. You cannot send your whole database with 1 million records to the API and say, ask a question. So there are some intermediate steps that you have to do, which we will get into. And then
vector stores?
And vector stores are, let me actually quick refresher on yesterday. So that would be the low-level vector store. Scroll down over here. So the vector stores are a method to transform language, words, sentences, into a numerical representation, as you can see over here on the image. And we use that to store information. So the AI model, the models can then understand it and try to come up with or try to understand. If you ask a question, what's the best piece of information or context to get from the database? So you can kind of see that in the image over here. Certain words are closer to each other in terms
Can
of...
you zoom a little? I really like this image yesterday.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, so this is a really good one. And again, this is not my image. This is I took this from someone. So all credits to the author. But here you can really see, again, just to refresh, that you start with words, and here you have a sentence, and it gets converted with a special model to a numerical representation. So you can just see the numbers over here, and this is what they call a vector. And that's why it's called a vector database. So this is what you store in the database, and then how the model converts these words to the numerical representation. It does that in a way that, for example, mobile phone is closer to I just got a call from a telemarketer, even though the words are not
different.
even different, but it understands semantic meaning. The same way that we would do that. We as humans would understand, okay, if you have to compare a mobile phone to either a rabbit or I just got a call from a telemarketer, it makes more sense to put these closer. And here that is visualized over here within the graph. So you can see mobile phone, here is a phone, and a telecom center, for example, are clustered over here, whereas here we have a rabbit and a truck and a house, whatever. Yeah. So that was a quick recap on document loaders. We use that.
Vectors usually have 1,500 dimensions.
So that depends on the model that you use to convert the words, the text to the vectors. So a pretty popular one that I'm also using for my projects is the one from OpenAI, the ADA Text 3, and that's I believe 1536, something like that. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, you're right.
Something like that.
I remember. Yeah.
It is a specific number, and they choose
1506 or something like that.
Something like that.
I never knew what that number is.
Yeah,
I know you have to set it up when you do the encoding.
The
vectorizing
exactly.
in LangChain.
Exactly. You have to specify it.
You have to specify it, but I had no idea what it's doing.
Yeah. It's a dimension, and it basically means like how many vector or how many numbers you use to represent the information.
Okay, so you have there 0.5156. That's 1/5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's how they do it.
I'm really proud of myself. I had no idea how that worked. Yeah. But it worked.
Yeah.
I just GPT-4, copy paste, and I managed to solve my problem like 3 months ago. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so that was quick little introduction about the document loaders that you use to get your own data, and then you convert it to what we're seeing over here, and then you store it into the database, and that is the starting point to do something with the data, and that is what I will show you in a bit. So then it might make a little more sense to show you some actual examples as well. So let's see, let's go back over here. So where were we?
Actually, what we're explaining today is the process, the methodology, the method to start integrating AI in your documents and working with your data. So LangChain, which is really easy to use, then vectorized, you get your data and you vectorize, and now we go forward. Yeah,
exactly. And then we're also going to look, if we should have time for that, into how we can turn all of this that we're talking about, into a bot that we can use in Slack. And for those of you that don't know what Slack is, it's a messaging platform that a lot of companies use. You can kind of compare it to Microsoft Teams. Maybe people are familiar with that, but it has a chat interface. And the cool thing about integrating these solutions into those applications is that companies are already using it to communicate. And now if we integrate AI into that, it makes it more seamless. Whereas otherwise you maybe have this additional application where, I have to find some information, then I have to go over here. But then if I have to talk to my colleagues, I go over here.
Yeah, which is a problem in a lot of companies because at some point there are too many tools.
Exactly.
It's way too much. It's
Yeah.
overwhelming. You have to go in the CRM to find or do something for sale. You have to go in, I don't know, online application for social media. You have to go into Slack or Teams or communication application. The Hasher has another application.
Yeah.
Like, it's never-ending story.
Yeah.
So this is why you see resistance when companies try to implement new tools, because people are actually tired of them. There's so many of them. Now with AI and integrating AI it's very easy to integrate it in your actual systems, in your existing CRM, chats, and so on, which is the beauty of it. Yeah. Like you minimize the resistance of adoptions.
Exactly, and that's very powerful. Because that also ensures that people are actually going to use it. Like, because otherwise the barrier to switch to a different application and learn it as well, of course, there's a learning curve to every new tool that you introduce into your company.
One of the genius, actually not genius, but very interesting and very easy way of integrating AI that I've seen is in Notion. Notion integrated the Anthropic like really, really early on, like February or something like that.
Yeah, they were
really fast.
One of the first.
And it's so easy. Just press space. Oh, it's amazing. You press space and then you're, okay, what do you want to do with AI in this context with your existing data? Notion is another tool that's very good for structuring information, for taking notes, for organizing, for management. Actually, you can use Notion even to create your own CRM. Basically, it's very good at.
It's a very good piece of software, and they were, like you said, one of the first that I'm aware of that really implemented it well into
really
their software, and it really made sense for what Notion is. It's a place to brainstorm ideas, to capture information, to store information, and just pressing space or whatever kind of command, and then just asking, hey, help me with this, or do this, or summarize these meeting notes, or structure these meeting notes, I think was really, really clever. Yeah. Okay, and then if there is time, we can even get into OpenAI function calling, which is a little bit more technical, but we'll see how it goes from there. But let's start with with an example. So I'm going to walk you through some code over here, and like I've said, for anyone watching, don't bother too much about all the the icons that you're seeing over here. I'm going to try and make this visual, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a quick little AI application that we can use to answer and ask questions about YouTube videos. So we can pick any URL, put it into the application, and then it will do all of the steps that we've just described, document loaders and the vector stores, and then we can start to ask questions. So I'll start with a quick example, and then we can maybe just pick a random video from a video that you know, or maybe the session that we did yesterday, maybe to like check and test it, maybe if it actually if it's working properly. So
I'm really curious with my Russian accent.
Okay.
Like,
let's see.
Sometimes I don't understand my words. I can hear them, but So we'll see. Yeah.
Let's see. So. So I'm working in my code editor right now, and here you can basically see from the start that you see all of these LangChain things over here. So from LangChain, etc. And what we're doing over here, we're basically importing all of the components that LangChain already built for us. So here you can, we talked about the document loaders, right? We talked about the embeddings, which is the model to convert the language to the numbers. And then here you can see we have the vector stores. So all of the things we've just talked about, LangChain makes it really easy, and I could just say from LangChain import, and now I have that within my application, and with very short and little commands, I can now use that functionality. So that's again the beauty of LangChain and how they've designed it. So I've just started that up, loaded it, and now I have a little function over here that we can use to load a YouTube video. So here you have the YouTube loader, and this is another cool thing. So
it already has integrated everything.
It already
you don't
has
have to program yourself anything.
No.
That's, as we said yesterday, quick reminder. I asked Dave yesterday, how long will it take for a person that has no idea about programming, that can use basic Excel, but it's good with computers, like you can use tools and stuff like that. How long it will take for a person today to learn how to integrate AI and to use LangChain and stuff like that? and his assessment was like maximum 3 months if you do, like you really are into it and you want to educate yourself. So in 3 months, you can use LangChain, you can use Python, and you can start using these tools. Okay, you're not going to be senior expert, and you're not going to replace your 10 years experience of your ITs or for your developers, but you can do basically a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you can start from there.
Yeah. So there's already YouTube loader in there, and now let's see. I have a URL over here, and this is one of my videos on YouTube. I'm just gonna show this step by step for you. So what we have over here, we have the YouTube loader, and we just plug in the video URL. So the nice thing about Python is, even though a lot of people that are watching probably have no idea what's going on over here, if you just go line by line and read it in English, you can kind of already understand what's going on. So you say YouTube loader, and we want something from YouTube, and we put in a video URL, and I just stored that in the variable, and you can see this is the video URL that I just saved. So let's see, what is that? So that's one of my videos that I recently published. It's about how to learn artificial intelligence. So this is what I would do if I had to start over. And we're going to use this one right now to load it and then ask some questions about it. So I'm just going to run this line. So now we create a loader, and now we get the transcript of the video, and we get the transcript from YouTube itself. So we use YouTube automatically transcribes all the videos that you upload, and via their API, you can just download the transcript already. So you could also, probably to improve accuracy here, use Whisper, for example, that we've talked about, which is just another like free model that you can use to transcribe a video, which just means you take all the words and then you get text out of it, so you have the transcription.
But you can do this only for your channel, or you can get transcription for
every video. Yeah. So that is available through the API already.
Okay. Maybe in English the quality will be really high, like the transcription quality.
Yeah.
But in Romania,
we can try it.
We can try it. Yeah.
We can try it. So let's see. Now we have the transcript, and you can see right now. So it's basically, if we, let's say we get let's just try and get so we have the transcript, let's see, and we need the first
live programming.
Live programming over here, let's see.
The dream of every programmer. Let's hope the internet doesn't fail.
I'm kind of used to it. Let's get the page content, let's see.
So this is like 1 week ago, we did this automatically using, we make the script actually to download all the videos from Șoflete's YouTube page. We downloaded almost 150 videos, and then we make the transcription with Whisper, and then we use chat-based to create that chatbot. So what we are doing today with Dave is going further and doing this like locally, on-premise. With having control over everything and not using external tools.
Yeah, exactly. So now you can see that we have the transcription. So the video starts with, so you want to learn artificial intelligence, then this video is for you. I'm going to provide blah, 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 etc. We go through the whole video. So just by going to YouTube, grabbing the URL, and putting it into, let me show you, just this first block of code, we can now already take a video and get all of the text. So that's already like a cool functionality if you want to do some research or store some data. So what we are now going to do, since we have the full transcript, which is quite long, we are going to split it up. And then for reference, why are we doing that? Again, going to the high level, let's see, to this image over here. I think that makes a lot of, let's see, like this. So yesterday we talked about you cannot send all the information to the AI because we run into the limits that you can send back and forth. So we have to split it up so that you can look at the image over here. Yeah, we have a large document, which is now our transcription of the YouTube video, and we're going to split it into smaller chunks so that we can later, when we ask a question, find the relevant piece of information and then use that to use that to feed it to the AI. So we're really now putting into practice what we're seeing over here, focusing on the documents. So coming back to the code over here, you can see that we can define a chunk size, and that basically means how many characters do we want in per chunk, per split that we make. And this depends on like what kind of like model and API you use. So right now we're going to use the GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K. So this allows 16,000 tokens. But as you will see in a bit, I'm going to follow the example over here, and whenever we want to get an answer, I'm going to provide 4 pieces of information, because there might be multiple times throughout the video that I talk about a specific subject, and giving multiple pieces of information, then the AI can find out, okay, do I need this reference of, I don't know, getting started with Python, or I need this reference with getting started with Python.
We have a limitation here. We have to tell people when you do this chunking that it's not random, but it's not contextual also.
Exactly.
Like when you say chunk it by 4,000 characters, he's going to start from character 0, go to 4,000, split, then 0, 4,000, split, and so on. And this means that there is a chance that it's going to cut the chunk in the middle of the sentence.
Yeah.
And this is a limitation right now of this method of vectorizing information.
Yeah.
One way to solve this, as we talked in the morning, is to have a model that is specialized in understanding the context. But to do this, at least for Romania, I don't know if ChatGPT can do that very well. Probably not. You need to annotate. You need to train a model specifically for this.
Yeah, so that is definitely a limitation. There are multiple ways that you can go about it. You could even use OpenAI, so ChatGPT, the models for that as well. And then you kind of have to create like a loop. Yeah, in intermediate steps. So chains, where you sequence your code and like go through the whole transcript, and then prompt engineer, ask questions in such a way where it says like, hey, go through this text. And whenever you feel like
the context has changed,
the context switches, identify, split. Okay. So you could, but there are probably better ways to do that more effectively with the models you were talking about. But you're totally right. Right now, we're kind of doing a stupid approach. We're just 4,000 characters, cut. Split. 4,000 characters, cut.
But for most of the use cases,
it works. So we can test it in a bit. And this is also something, depending on your use case and application, something you have to experiment with. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm setting at 4,000 and we'll provide 4 documents. But maybe for this video, it's better to do 1 and set it at 1,000. Mm-hmm. That is all experimentation. So let's see. So now you can see we have, I'm going to run this and then do this. And then what we can see over here, you can now see that on the right hand, we now have 5 documents. So we split it into 5. So that means based on the whole transcript, the whole YouTube video, everything that I said, if we split it up into chunks of 4,000, you get 5 splits. So it's around like 20,000 something, probably a little less tokens, characters that I talked about within the video. And so now here you can already see that if we then also use, since we only have 5 documents right now, and we will provide 4 examples to the model, that we're basically providing it with the whole video already. So this is something we can experiment with. So let's see, let's just continue. So right now we're going to store it into the vector database. So what we're going to do right now, you can see we're going to create the embeddings, the vectors, and then store it in a database. And right now I'm doing this all locally. So I'm not using any external services. This is just all in the memory on my laptop, where I'm going to store this. I'm going to use the face library, the face vector store for this. And you can see we're putting in, here you can see the documents and the embeddings. So that is the model that we've defined over here. So we're using that one from OpenAI. So again, this is all LangChain, very straightforward. So we have some documents, we have some embeddings, and we store it in the database. We can quite literally just follow visually what we're doing over here. Okay, so going to run that, and then it's going to process. It's also really quick. It was like 1 second, boom, everything is now numerical representation. Okay, so let's see. I'm now going to go to the next one and see what's going on over here. So here we have a, let me actually show you a bit more. Here we have another function, and this is basically a two-step process. So first, we get the data, put it into a database, and now this is the kind of like the AI part, which I've called get response from query. So this is where we can start to ask questions, and then the interesting thing over here is here you can see the template that we're using. So this is the prompt engineering that we use. So here you can see you're a helpful assistant that can answer questions about YouTube videos. Based on the video's transcript, we put in the information. So within these curly brackets,
here's all the documents, all the files that it's printed.
Yeah, here we put in all the context that we get by performing the similarity search already. So that is where we start with, and there we put in the user question. So whenever we run this application, input is user question. Mm-hmm. What is this video about? How do I learn Python? Then we put that in here, and then we use the database that we've just created to perform the similarity search. And what we then do, coming back to over here, we're going to look at the image, and let's say this is the user's question, for example, and we're going to look into all of the documents that we have, and we're going to extract the closest one. So it's not going to retrieve the truck, if this is our question, but it's either going to retrieve the telephone over here or that telephone. So that's what's happening over here, and that's how we've constructed it. And then to add a bit more clarification, we say only use the factual information from the transcript to answer your questions. This is to counter the hallucination, making answers up, filling in information that is just not there. And then also, if you feel like you don't have enough information to answer the question, say, I don't know.
And you also set up the temperature to 0.2.
Yeah, and that is quite arbitrary right now, but this is something you can play with. The lower the temperature, the more similar results you get every time you ask a question. If you put this higher to 1, for example, every time you run the model, you get kind of like a different answer. It gets more creative. And in some use cases, that's desirable. Sometimes it's not. And then another explanation: your answer should be verbose and detailed. So you can talk a little bit about it. Really explain what's going on. And then we tie everything together. Again, all LangChain that we're doing over here. Let me actually just show this or run this for you. And now I'm going to run it over here. Process it one more time. And now we can ask questions here. So I'm going to start how to learn Python. So for context, within this video, I go over I do an introduction, how I would learn artificial intelligence, and then I go over 7 steps that I would follow. And one of them is learning Python, the language that we're using right now, that you're looking at. So let's ask the question about this video, how to learn Python. Okay. Let's see from the start what this now will do. And again, we're putting in the 4 examples. So we're almost putting in the whole transcript. So it should have a lot of context, a lot of information to base this answer on. Boom, and there we go. Okay, so, it's really, it really is a long answer. So without going through all of it, so to learn Python, you can follow a step-by-step approach. Okay. It seems to be all right. So since we provided probably all of the context, it starts from step 1 even. So it takes basically the whole, it takes the whole video, and then it says, okay, here are the steps. And then for step 2, we'll do this. Step 4, okay, so it's also adding a little bit more. Yeah, okay. It seems to be quite accurate. But now, what the next step would probably? So this is a video of mine. So maybe do you have a video in mind that we can use to?
Let's do the one from yesterday.
The one from yesterday, is that one still live?
It should be.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It was 24 hours, right?
It is.
Let's see.
It is.
Okay.
Okay.
So this one. Oh, this is this is one that we're watching right now. This is the live one.
Windows.
Let's see.
Maybe
then
live.
Live.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Over here. Okay. Okay. So this is an interesting one because it's also pretty long, of course. So let's see. Take the URL. Come back to application, and let's remove this actually, so we get a little bit shorter answers.
Okay, so let's ask him.
Yeah.
What should we ask him? What is Mamaya?
Okay. we talked in the beginning about Mamaya, right? The introduction about the venue, I think.
Yeah,
Let's see. Okay. So first we're going to load it again. Let's see.
Yes, as I said, the beauty of live programming.
Yeah, we're going to run into some issues here. So we maybe have to the token size. Maybe change that up. Let's see, where are we?
4,000.
Oh.
I love this. I really love it.
Always a bit of debugging to do.
Yeah, as I've said, I remember like 4 months ago when I started playing with Python.
Mhm.
This is how I started. I watched some of your videos and I just copy-paste everything that was on the screen.
Yeah, that's how you get started. And then you run into issues, and then you have to debug a little. So let's see. It could be that quickly going to check if I take another video, because this is a live stream, and it could be for some reason that the transcription
is not available.
Is not available for live stream videos.
And another issue might be that it may be set up from us. Maybe just take another video from you. Maybe our channel has some security, or is not.
I think it should be available for all, but let's quickly see if it's something let me actually take also a longer video from my channel.
Yeah, I've told you the way we did this was to download the video, extract the audio for all those videos from Marius, 150 hours.
Yeah.
And then with the audio, transcribe it using Whisper. And that's a fail-proof method. It's not going to fail.
Let's see. So plugging in another URL. Yeah, okay, so then it works. Let's see, one more time. We have the live
Yeah,
ones.
most probably we don't have the captions activated.
Yeah,
Somehow.
ondertiteling niet beschikbaar.
You
Could
see?
be.
Yeah, it's not activated on the account somehow.
Okay, so that might be a thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But is there another video that you've maybe?
No, I think all of them.
Of all of
none
them,
has
they are not
Yeah.
available.
Yeah. Let's use another one from you. Doesn't matter.
All right. Yeah. Just for we can use another
Who's
one.
making your thumbnails? Who's making this?
These thumbnails? I
Yeah.
do that myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How? They're really nice.
Thanks. Yeah. So one time I just created a whole bunch of photos, so you can see all of the faces of me. It's all same outfit, same hair.
Okay,
I just
so
one
just
time.
pick one.
Yeah, I just one time created 20 photos or something with different expressions, cut them out, and now I can just easily. I have a Photoshop file, and I just plug it in, create the
nice.
image, put in new face, and then
Okay.
do it. Yeah. Okay. So for this approach, but like I've said, you could do it for any video, but then you have to add an extra step in between. But now I took a longer video, so that was this one. It's an hour long, and we have the same setup, and we can ask what is this video about? Let's see, and then we do the query. This video is about the presenter's new workflow for data science projects, which incorporates AI-powered tools like ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot, etc. That is exactly what this video is about. And now, what I think is good to zoom out a little is to also talk about a bit of like the applications for businesses and maybe people watching of what can you do with this? Because right now we're using YouTube, but the principles and the fundamental techniques that we're using can be applicable to a lot of use cases. So if we go back to, let's say,
I have a question here.
Yeah.
So, example, in my company, let's say, I don't know, the sales department. So I can see in my data that I have one of my employees, one of the sales agents, I don't know, has a lower conversion rate when he's sending offers.
Yeah.
He's not closing at the same conversion rate that everybody else is closing. And I can see that this automatically in my data.
Yeah.
At that moment, when I see this, using LangChain, can I make a decision and say, okay, so I know this about my employee. I know that his conversion rate is lower. I know he's not closing enough. Let me go on YouTube and let's find 10 videos about how to close in B2B, in medical maybe, or in construction, or in my industry. Get that videos, vectorize the information, and then create a tutorial or create a playbook for my employee.
That is definitely something that you could do. There are multiple ways to go about this. So you could say, if that is a problem you're running into, I could look up resources online, YouTube videos. But like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be YouTube videos. It could also be the playbook that you are using internally. So
maybe I don't have a playbook. Maybe I don't know. I'm a startup and I basically have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah. So
because I've been there. I basically have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know if there are resources. I have no idea. Okay?
No idea
about anything.
Just starting out with sales, and you need to train a sales rep, or you yourself want to become a sales rep.
Exactly.
So step one would be then to find the information. So even if you don't have anything internally, you can look up information. YouTube, blog posts, courses, maybe even PDFs.
And then I have another question. There's so much information out there.
Yeah.
Can I find this information automatically? Because there is so much noise and I have no idea what is good and what is not good for me. Like if I'm a business company, I'm selling in Romania and I'm starting watching, I don't know, American way of selling, it's not really going to work. It's really powerful, but it's not really going to work in my industry localized here in Romania. So can LangChain scrape the YouTube for me, find the relevant videos, then look and see where are the comments, like which video have the higher reviews, most of positive reviews, maybe Romanian reviews, and after that collect this information and come and give me like just automatically the best education content that it's good for me on my skill level?
Interesting question. So there are definitely possibilities here. Even looking into like the comments, for examples, and the likes of videos, that would be more of a, I would say, advanced approach. I would say better starting point would be to first select the material that you're interested in. So maybe go to a respectable source, someone you look up to, or someone you know in the industry or your country is really good at sales. Because that makes it a little bit easier to get started, I'm assuming. Because if you don't know what you're doing, if you're starting out, it's also hard to validate if the answers you get from the AI are actually good, right? If you do it automatically. But I could see how you could create an application where you can do some kind of like research. So also what's GPT researcher is a really, it's GPT. GPT researcher is a cool tool that you can use to perform research. So you can kind of give it an objective, a topic, and it will go through the internet, find sources, and even go look for publications specifically, so really credible sources, and it will turn that into a PDF file for you. So that is a really cool tool that people could use. I could see how you could combine those. But if we stick to, and this is maybe something we can later or tomorrow give a little demo about, but now to stick to the context of, so you want to start out with sales and you don't know how to start, I would say it's better to get your own resources first. Okay. So internal documents, or find some quality documents online that you from good sources. And then the process is basically the same. So you don't put in the YouTube video and the transcript, but you put in the PDF document or the website or whatever. You put in that text, a book. You could also put in a book. And then what you can do, you could provide that to the sales rep as a way to ask questions about it and to learn. So that would be one way. So it is as a training tool for the sales rep that they can use. But you could maybe also turn this into a little bit more sophisticated product where you try to record the conversations of the sales rep. So maybe they're trying to close on the phone or on Zoom or whatever, and you record those, you get the transcript, and then you try to analyze the flow of the call. And you could use, again, these AI models for that to build kind of like a system that goes step by steps and tries to identify whether the transcript matches the playbook. I think that would be the easiest place to get started, because if you have a structure of a playbook, you can really easily identify, okay, now we're now in, like, for example, step 1 or step 2 of the sales process. And key objectives and goals of this step would be, I don't know, get some information, dig a little bit deeper into the problems, etc. And that is something large language models can validate. And
okay.
that, yeah.
I've done that. And it worked really. This is actually my first project in Python, like 5 months ago.
Okay.
Watching your videos.
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking like this. I have maybe 1 million phone conversations in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
How can I use AI to analyze all of these conversations? Because there are 1 million conversations, maybe with 100K companies. And from these 100K companies, like 8,000 were clients. Bought something.
Okay.
How can I analyze all this data? So I can transcribe it, okay, 1 million conversation, I vectorize it, I store it in a vector database, done. How can I use AI to analyze everything so that I understand what's my playbook? Empirically, like look at all this conversation and tell me what's working and what is not working. Tell me about client profiles. Tell me about, I don't know, seasonality. How can I do that?
Interesting question. So that, again, would be quite an advanced project already. But what I can think of is, so you know, for every sales call, every conversation, whether it turned into a customer, right?
Yeah,
so
we know that. We have the output.
We have the output. So that is a good starting point, because you can use that to, for example, on the one hand, the conversations where you know, okay, this turned into a sale, the sales rep closed. You could go through the transcript, maybe first start off, and I'm just thinking out loud here, maybe like go through the transcripts one by one and try to come up with a script, with prompt engineer it in such a way where it creates an analysis of the transcript. So you could instruct it, something like, just like quick example of what we're doing over here. You're a helpful assistant, blah, 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 answer about this. You could prompt engineer it in such a way where you say like, hey, this is a sales transcript that you are going through of a sales rep, and it turned into a deal. We have hundreds, thousands of these conversations, and I need your help to analyze the flow of the call and identify areas that seem to be successful. So what like words, phrases, steps resulted in positive sentiment or behavior on the other hand from the customer, meaning, so yeah, I'm interested in this, yeah, I would like to learn more. Those kind of like confirmative statements where you feel like, okay, the flow of the call, the sentiment is good. So I think it has a lot to do with sentiment, and that is something these models can also help with. So understanding, is it negative, going to like, oh, that's not something we need, or is the client, the customer, be like, oh, that's really what we've been looking for, we would like to learn more about that.
So split it into positive and negative sentiment. Okay, and then see if it went to negative. Why did it went? Like price, product, consultant, or what's the reason that the discussion went negative? And if it went positive, what's the reason why it went positive?
Yeah, you could identify certain words or phrases, and this would really be an iterative process. So you would first have to like really extract high level, like maybe steps and then sentences, and then store them maybe later in a database. So like I said, this is quite complex, but there are definitely ways to go about this, and it could potentially turn into a very good product, of course, if you really execute well on this, where a company can just take all of their historical sales conversations, just throw it in, and then you just get the success criteria. Here's what we should say. Here's what we should not say.
To create a sales assistant,
yeah,
or a bot,
yeah,
that can take the sales process and finish it by itself.
Or something like that. That would even be better, of course. That would really be an interesting use case for this. Yeah.
We can start working.
Start working on it. Yeah. So those are some very cool examples already, a bit more complex. Where I see right now companies can already quite quickly start to implement this is, for example, just with information retrieval. What does that mean? So companies, as your company scales, as you get more, as you grow, just the amount of information that you have in terms of like documents, SOPs, processes, everything just starts to scale. And especially, so for new people entering the company, like onboarding, like first few weeks, even months, it's where can I find this? Where can I find this? How should I do this? And what I see right now, really good opportunities for onboarding new employees. So even assisting existing employees, but also for onboarding people that are new. Because right now, this is something you would ask to a colleague or a manager, hey, what is the SOP for this? How should we go about that? Where can I find this information? And you could try and convert all of the useful information that new employees might need. You could put that all into a vector database and then create a simple chat application. And you could even do this in Slack or in Microsoft Teams, which we will show in a bit, where someone can just ask, hey, I have to work on this. Where can I find this document? And boom, it just gets a link, and then it gets to, I don't know, your Google Drive or your Notion page or your SharePoint, but whatever kind of system you're using for your data management.
You can extract information from there.
You can link it from there. And the nice thing about this is that you don't limit yourself to, for example, just your SharePoint site. So a lot of companies use SharePoint, of course, and that already has a good search functionality. But here you can really get also into the document level. So
inside the document.
Yeah, inside the document. And I believe SharePoint also has some functionality about this, but having that accessible in a chat, just saying like, hey, just thinking out loud, oh, I need help with this, and not in SharePoint, you have to put the specific like keywords or phrases to find the relevant documents. And within the chat, you can just use natural language, very much in the same manner that you would ask it to your manager. For example, hey, I'm working on this. Where can I find X? So I think it's a much more natural way of communicating with these systems. And I really believe like we're going into the direction where right now, if you need some kind of like information, you would immediately like go to a colleague, for example, and ask someone, okay, hey, where can I find this? But in the future, it's like first you make the decision, can I ask this to my AI assistant?
Exactly.
Or is this something that I should ask to a real person?
We had this problem in our company. Yeah. At some point, the IT department became the information department.
Okay. Yeah,
so there were coming so many tasks in IT with question about how that thing works, but where is that data coming from? That had nothing to do with actually programming. There were no bugs, nothing like that. Just questions over questions, and there were like hundreds of tasks like this that people from all departments just sent to IT department. That was unbelievable. When I saw that, I was shocked. Like, guys, this is not information. This is IT department, not information. I is not from the information. Let's supply you with.
Yeah.
So this technology can help us eliminate all this struggle of all this frustration with information access, because you can have one central point where you have everything, how things work in the company, all the procedures, all the processes. Okay, you have to document it, but once you have it, once you do it, everybody has access to the same information. And this is really, really powerful. Yeah. And then when something changes, you just change the initial source.
It's one source.
One source, you re-vectorize it, which is really fast. We saw with chat-based. We gave some examples here were like really, really, really fast.
Yeah. Here you can also see it took like 1 second to get the whole transcript and process it from a 1 hour YouTube video.
Exactly.
So lots of information. 1 second, boom. And we can, so you should really think about this. So I showed this example with a YouTube video, and then we can ask questions about it, but this could just as well be your internal company documents.
Or this can be your meetings. You can have your meetings recorded. Yeah. You have a management meeting, you record it very easy on your phone, and then you just transcribe, make the transcription, and then you can ask it. You can have all your meetings documented, and whenever you don't remember something and you want the information from some meeting, what did I say on 3rd of July in my meeting with the HR department? What was the main conclusion there? Click, and you have it. I mean, the possibilities are absolutely endless.
Also, very good use case, I believe, because so much information gets lost in meetings. Just there are a lot of words are said, but then the critical piece of information, next steps, for someone maybe that did not attend the meeting or afterwards, like a week later, I don't know what I was saying like last week.
I was shocked a couple of years ago when I saw that there is an entire business of consulting companies how to organize their meetings. And I was like, what the hell? Why do we need this?
Why do we need this? Yeah.
And then I realized, okay, we need this because at some point you start to make a meeting for everything.
Exactly.
And then I realized, and I looked at my meetings, and I saw that I'm bringing people in the meetings that had no place to be there. Yeah. They were not bringing value. They were not getting value. I just needed them there. I don't know why. I started to understand. Now I think this entire consulting business is going to disappear because I can just record the meetings. I can ask ChatGPT, analyze my meeting. Yeah. Okay. How many people were there? What's your recommendation for the next meeting? How can we improve this meeting? What went wrong? What was okay? How do you recommend to improve everything? So I have the best consulting in the world.
It's already there. Yeah.
It's already there for the amazing price of $20 per month.
Yeah, definitely. And also something that just popped into my head as you're talking about this. What could be interesting? So you said like, hey, the consulting company, when we have AI, might not be needed anymore. But maybe when we're interacting with these AIs to help us with meetings, maybe when we are in a meeting, we have to be mindful of how we phrase certain words and sentences to give the AI like a heads up. And maybe even just keep in mind that the AI is listening and it's going to transcribe, and maybe even point it out. Say like, okay, hey, quick, you can maybe even give it a name. Say like, hey, as it is an assistant, hey, make sure to really capture this because this is important. These are like next steps. And instead of just talking about it high level, oh, we should this, and then go into a conversation, oh, we do this, really also make sure that, okay, let's quickly summarize what we've talked about so the AI can better handle this later.
And this is very easy to do.
Yeah,
and the next step, which is sci-fi maybe, I have a company in Romania that developed a technology using vision, and they can recognize the 7 most common human emotions on your face.
Oh, okay.
So they can do that.
Yeah.
So using AI during the meetings, if I know this, and I know that at minute 24 of the meeting, your face was showing anger, and I know the context, this is the next level, because I can analyze my meetings like that.
Yeah.
I can ask AI, how was the meeting? How did people feel during the meeting? What was their the non-verbal communication about, I don't know, starting this new project? Because words say something and emotions most of the time say something else. And AI can help you with that also. This is also very powerful in poker, but I don't recommend it.
Nice.
That would be
Yeah.
cheating, and I for sure don't recommend cheating at poker. Not at all. I actually hate people who cheat at poker.
Yeah, very interesting use, and also this could also for sales calls be very
Exactly.
good if you have the permission, of course, to record and analyze that.
Exactly.
But then again, just getting that the verbal communication, but also just little
AI can
expressions
understand that
about
also.
just for example when you're pitching, when you're really and just looking at the customer, how they're reacting, analyzing that. Very interesting.
And this is a small company from Romania. I mean, the technology is absolutely amazing in this human emotion recognition.
Yeah.
And I think the Chinese are the best.
Probably. They've been doing it for years already.
Exactly,
probably. Yeah.
With strategic interest, national interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So, like I've said, very good use cases, onboarding, getting actual information from your company up and running. Also, for customer support teams, this can be really helpful. Customer support teams often run also on knowledge bases, SOPs. You know, if a customer asks this is the process. And right now they might have some documents, some PDFs, whatever. The information is somewhere stored. It is spread. And this could really be a good use case, even integrating it maybe into your CRMs already, where you get a customer inquiry and it's just the AI can already make a suggestion. So it's not already like answering, that would be future steps, you know, like where you really trust the AI. Customer inquiry comes in, and if there's like a high confidence, we let the AI just answer the query because we communicate based on the SOPs and the instructions that we have. But you can even already suggest an answer to the customer care rep that is working on it. So we got this inquiry, we analyzed it, it probably falls into this category. This is how we typically respond to that.
I was thinking now about sales representatives.
Yeah.
That they spend a lot of time when they have they need to contact a lead or a client and so on, and have to go to all their communications and read the notes and so on.
Yeah.
You can, with AI now, when an email comes from a customer or a lead, you can send to the AI the entire conversation that you have with that customer, all your emails. This is very easy to do. You just send the history of the emails. You send all the notes that you have. You send all the bills, if you have the bills or invoices, and you can also send any extra information. Like in our case, we are a platform, online platform. I can send the tickets, the status of the tickets, and I can send his activity on the platform. And having all this information, when the email comes in like 30 seconds, the AI can already give me a recommendation of how to answer whatever the email wrote to us. Does it make sense? You think it's possible?
It definitely makes sense. It's also definitely possible. So it's basically an extension on top of your CRM, where in the CRM, if you open a client or a lead, whatever, you get the whole thread of all the communication that happened if you set up your CRM correctly. And every time there's an update in there, you just let the AI process all of it.
Exactly.
And you can kind of like then make sure that always at like the top of the like last communications or summary, you can have all the information, but then summarized. So you don't have to go through all the emails, get all the details, but just so this is kind of like this is what's going on with this with this client, with this conversation. Here are next steps. Here's just something you should think about.
Summarize in the context of the input.
Yeah.
The input here being whatever the client wrote to us today.
Yeah.
If tomorrow he's sending another email, I'm going to understand what he wants, and then I'm going to re-summarize based on the actual problem of the client. Each day the summarize can be different. Maybe today he's sending me an email about he wants to buy a new product, or tomorrow he's sending me an email that he wants to, access the sessions of the podcast, and he doesn't know where to see them. So you can use AI to automatically create the email that you can only view it, click send, and reply back to customer. And next step, probably very, very soon, we are going to get to the point where this is going to be done by AI altogether.
Yeah, definitely. So you see some CRMs already like starting to work on this, integrating into this. So a popular mail application that you can use. It's called
Superhuman. Yeah, I tested.
Yeah.
I played with it. I tested in February, but after a couple of weeks, I gave up. It wasn't that good back then. I don't know now.
Yeah.
But
So
back then it wasn't that good.
yeah, I've also tried
A lot of marketing, but
yeah. I tried it also once, and I went back to my regular way. But they introduced the AI feature. I think like 2-3 weeks ago.
All right.
And that seemed quite impressive.
Can you show? Let's show the audience the
Yeah,
tool
let's.
so it's Superhuman.
Let's see if they have maybe a blog post on it. So Superhuman is.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, the fastest email experience ever made. So I kind of want to experiment with this again because
me too.
what their whole philosophy is that they want to make email more streamlined and easy. So the application it all works via keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah,
so
I remember,
it takes some time to get used to. You got to create some muscle memory. But they've created it to go through your inbox 0, get everything done as quickly as possible. And you can very easily say okay, this is something I have to reply to today and then do it, or set it to tomorrow, whatever. And you can use, which is something I really like and which most email applications are lacking, is using little templates. So basic templates that you can use where you already fill in the first name, for example, based on who is sending you the email. So and with Superhuman, you can just very quickly say hit keyboard shortcut, and boom, you already have basic answer, and then you can fill in maybe one extra sentence to make it specific. So okay, and it goes really fast.
Yeah, I'll test it again.
Yeah, but they introduced. So I haven't experimented with it, but I did look at some of the videos. So I'm just gonna quickly see what they're doing over here. Type at the speed of thought. Let's see. Polish your writing. Yeah, I think so. Can we zoom in a little bit here? Yeah, this is what I wanted to get into. So let's say you have we can even get a little bit bigger here, I guess. So let's say you're working on, so you have an email over here, and then you can say rewrite in my voice. And that's quite interesting because my voice, it understands that from the conversations that from your email inbox. So it goes through them and it does some kind of analysis. I'm not sure how, but then it understands, okay, this is how I typically write my emails, and then you can maybe
that's bad. I don't want it in my voice. I want the opposite. I want the assertive way of communication, not my style when I'm no.
Perfect. But you can ask it. So these are the basic prompts that you can pick from. So shorten, lengthen, simplify, improve writing. But you can also, it's a language model, so you can ask it anything. So you can also, for your example, be more nice.
Be more nice, yeah.
You can type no and then just make this into a nice email.
Exactly.
and
I don't remember how well it worked in Romanian.
Okay. Yeah.
But we'll test it out. I'll test it out
So
again.
this could be a really interesting tool to look into if you spend a lot of time replying to emails, getting back to emails, because the main problem with emails is usually, like I said, if it's just a plain no, sometimes it's just a plain no, but you don't just want to say no. You always feel I have to create 1 or 2 sentences to be polite, explain kind of the context over here, but then in the end, the message is still, it's a no. Get what I mean? And I think this can really help with that. To just get through the fluff, make it kind of so it's not rude, but you spend less time on it.
Yeah, let's say I agree.
Yeah,
sometimes I like no.
Yeah. Sometimes it's all that.
No sends a message.
Yeah. So summarize long communication. So this is what I wanted to show. So if you have a whole email thread going back and forth, maybe with multiple people, and you get CC'd into it, and you're what's this? This whole chain, and you have to basically go back to the
5 minutes long emails that nobody reads.
You have to go back to an email from 1 month ago where the initial request started, and you can use it to summarize the long communication. So we will go through all of the and I think this is a really cool feature because the thing is, if you want to use AI for writing, you can also use ChatGPT. You could say no, turn this into a nice email, or
I've done that.
Yeah,
a couple of times.
me. I use it all the time. Or turn this into a nice email. So sometimes I just do a few keywords, or I type like I'm a 3-year-old, like blah, 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 and then turn this into a nice email. You can use ChatGPT for that, but using it to get the whole context of an email chain, you could do it, but then you have to manually copy paste, and it takes longer probably than to just read through it. So I think that is a really nice feature of Superhuman, and I think they're one of the first to introduce it like this into an email application. So you can really see we've all struggled with long conversations that rapidly become walls of text. And research, let's see, just checking. Yeah, okay.
Can we show the prices? If you're still here, let's show the prices.
So it is for just an email tool. It is pretty pricey, I believe. So if you use a team, so $30 per user per month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite a lot for just email, but yeah.
Yeah, taking into account that ChatGPT is $20.
Exactly. Yeah.
But still, I mean.
Yeah. So could be.
You can get from now to I understand your feelings about this and.
Yeah, could be worth exploring. So you can. I did a 13-day trial one time. So if you're watching, you want to give it a try, could look into it. So that was about using AI to summarize long conversations either in email or in your CRM, and quickly get the actual state of, okay, what's going on over here? Okay, this is how I can reply.
Regardless of the input, as we said, video, audio, text, doesn't really matter. Regardless of the input, regardless of the way you have your data right now, you can structure everything, you can vectorize everything, and then you can use it as a chat. Yeah.
Using everything that we see over here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. I think that brings us to, we can quickly talk about how you can turn this into applications that you can use in, for example, Slack or Microsoft Teams. And I created I have a video on that as well. So where is it? So that would be this one, where we create a personal assistant. So
I know this video.
In this,
I've seen it many times.
Okay, yeah. So we go through the code, but then in the end, just to show you what's going on.
Emma, I remember Emma.
We created Emma. So the whole idea, the philosophy here is that I wanted to experiment with creating an assistant that you can even like give a name, give an avatar, and then give the assistant a specific set of instructions. Similar to how every employee within the company has a specific role and a specific set of information and expertise.
Okay, so you can create a chat for HR.
Yeah.
You can create a chat for production, a chat for sales, a chat for marketing, and so on.
Yeah.
You can have specific.
A
chat for CEO.
Yeah. And to me, this is a really would be a really natural way of interacting with AI. And you know, ChatGPT is very like general purpose in the sense that you can ask it anything and it will help you. But if you really get into like the business applications and you also want to incorporate your own data, you probably want to add some more logic, some business logic.
Also, talking about Slack, because we had this problem. Okay, it's very nice, very interesting. I can get the data. I can have a chatbot, and people can ask questions about everything in the company. But people have a level of access. Not everybody has access to everything.
Yeah,
so
true.
One way we sort this out with Slack is that we created private channels specifically for some use cases, and on that channels you have a bot that has access to vectorized data only for that level of access. Because if I want to have a chat that replies with passwords, Wi-Fi passwords or access password and so on, I don't know, I can do that. but I really need to be really careful who has access to that information.
Okay.
Maybe I want to have for accounting department. So I want to have a chat where my accountant can ask, what is this bill for?
Yeah.
A new bill comes around and he wants to know what's this bill for. Okay, so the AI looks, okay, this bill is for, I don't know, new computer, new equipment, and so on. Okay, not everybody should have access to that kind of data. Yeah. So this is how we set up things, just private channels with private, with customized training data. By the way, our general chat channel is called Morgan.
Morgan?
Morgan, from God. Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
He had a lot of movies like that.
.
So I said, okay, let's put him. So that's our avatar, Morgan.
Okay.
And
Nice.
he's general. It's actually ChatGPT with access to everybody else. Another use case for this is that you can, instead of making unique accounts on ChatGPT for all of your employees, you can use the ChatGPT API and just integrate it in your actual communication like Slack or Teams and whatever, and everybody can use ChatGPT using API.
Yeah.
So this is a logistical case, because when you have 30 employees, 30 accounts, 30 bills, stuff gets
complicated
for absolutely no reason. So the best way is just integrate the API. It's really, really easy to do that today. You don't need advanced programming skills.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty clever. So in this video, I talk about how you can create different avatars for use cases, but then, like you said, you can go a step further and create different channels where you add certain bots. So how this works, once you set it up, and you can do a lot of things. Let's see, make it a little bit bigger. But here you can see we've created Emma, which is a bot, but it just looks like a regular person. And then if we, here you can see how you interact with it. So it is now instructed whenever you tag Emma and you ask a question, then it will reply to you. So first we did the quick to test it. So it was like, hey, if you get a question, just reply in all caps, just to test. But then we instructed Emma to help us draft emails. So you can give every bot specific instructions. And this is, like I've said, GPT is really general purpose, but then if you want to add some more business logic, you can really get creative here. Create different bots, different avatars, put it into different channels to manage your data privacy. Not everyone wants access, and you can really build this out in a way where you're already using this tool, and you really let people get used to the idea of, okay, should I ask this question to an actual person,
or I can go to a
or
channel,
can I ask this to Emma or whatever kind of avatar you create? So this is really interesting, and the cool thing about this is for companies as well. It's also fairly low risk in the sense that it's internally facing, meaning you let your own team, your own people learn, test, and experiment with this. Whereas other applications, maybe customer facing, of course, you want to be a little bit more careful because, you don't want to communicate wrong information, hallucinations. So this, I believe, is really a good place for people to get started if you already use Slack or if you use Microsoft Teams, to start experiment with this and let your team get used to this idea. And
can it make decisions? Can we make it to make decisions?
You can really get creative here. So right now, in this example, it is set up in such a way that you ask a question and you get information back. But then if we get back to, let's see, what we were talking about, LangChain orchestration, the agents that we were talking about yesterday, you could hook a Slack bot, you could hook it up to an agent. And what we've explained yesterday, an agent can be, you can kind of instruct it to do anything. So you can have a really basic one that can help with calculations, but you can also let it get information from external sources, make decisions, do calculations, then process that. You can create all kinds of steps, and then even let it create an output. So you could instruct via Slack the bot, for example, hey, can you do this and this and that? And then in the system, an operation will be run, code will be run, and something like that.
We can basically automate a lot of the processes inside the company
Yeah.
right now. A lot.
That is the thing, and
Like, you can scale down at probably at least 50% of the human work. At least. In any company.
I think it's possible as well. That of course requires a lot of engineering, but
Yeah.
with the availability of large language models right now, I believe it's possible. And I think one analogy that I heard, and I quite like that, is if we compare the introduction, this sudden rise in large language models, I think we can kind of like compare that to the introduction of the World Wide Web.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? All of a sudden, there was this new technology that was available, and out of nowhere, so many new things were possible due to this technology.
Okay.
But then it's not the World Wide Web itself that created this like revolution and change and headed into where we are right now with all these applications and websites and whatever. So it was not the World Wide Web, it was the people that built the applications on top of the World Wide Web. And I feel like with large language models, it's the same thing. It's here, we can use this technology, but now it's up to people. Up to the companies
For now.
For now. To really build clever applications on top of this. And this is really something we have to figure out with all of us to see how can we really use this to automate all kinds of things. And you saying like automate like 50% of like workforce of like repetitive tasks, it could potentially be possible with just clever engineering.
No.
We just need time.
A couple of months ago, we paid an external agency to audit our site.
Yeah.
To audit the conversion rates from one page to the other,
Okay.
like the whole conversion.
Yeah, whole funnel.
People
yeah.
come from Google, they arrive at our website, and then there's multiple steps until you make an account.
Yeah.
And they've done that manually. And I don't know, it was like 2K euros, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I will not have paid them because I know I can do that better, faster, way cheaper with AI. I can just connect Google Analytics. I have plugins in ChatGPT. I can extract all my data from there. So I have the data to analyze things, which is the same thing that they done. And then I can just analyze each page by page and ask GPT to verify the conversions, the headlines, the text, the fonts, and so on. And it can do that really, really good for me. And that's a couple of €1,000 cost reduction, but cost is only one variable. The second variable here is that it can do it in like 1 hour.
Yeah.
Where the agency that I work with took like 1 month.
Exactly.
To do everything.
And you have to
1
find
month
the agency.
of working for them, of their work, then find them discussions, meetings, and so
proposal,
on.
Yeah.
And now I can do all of that in 1 hour, cutting all this, which is absolutely amazing. So I agree with you. It's only on us how we are going to use the technology in our company. But for sure, and I keep repeating it, the worst thing we can do, and that's disappear, it's catastrophical for us, is saying, just another stupid technology. It's going to pass away. It's just another blockchain hype. No, it's not another blockchain hype. This is the real thing. And this is the real thing, not of our lifetime, but of our society, ever. From my point of view, never ever in the history of humankind did we ever had a technology like this. It can make decisions for us, and it can invent stories. These are the two main differences in report on regards with anything else. And it's really, really serious. Really, really serious. I was watching Elon Musk the other days. I'm a big fan of Elon. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about existential threats to humanity. Mm-hmm. War, inflation, economic, and so on. Yeah. And he was saying, okay, economics is standard. It's up and goes. It happens. This is cycle. Geopolitical, okay, we have dangers, geopolitical dangers like Ukraine or North Korea or Taiwan and so on. But the real threat to AI, to us, it's AI and the way we are going to use AI. And we'll see. I have no idea where we are going with this technology. I hope in the good way.
I hope so too. Yeah,
We'll
but
see.
I agree with you in terms of the how big of an impact this is going to have on
This is
society. And
the impact.
yeah, big
It's,
impact.
you cannot compare it to anything else. I mean, I understand the analogy with the web, the World Wide Web,
Mhm.
but it's nothing even close to World Wide Web. Because again, now this technology can make decisions for us.
True.
We can analyze data, interpret it, and decide in our context, which is really, really amazing. It can understand our business, our context, our people, the competence, the skill level of our employees. It can recommend training, videos, and so on, as we discussed today,
Mhm.
taking into account the skill level of the person.
Yeah.
So I can play with AI. Maybe in a couple of days, I can have a trainer, an AI trainer, dedicated for my marketing department, that is going to give you relevant classes and trainings, taking into account what's your level of understanding for that concept, which is really, really fucked up.
Yeah, that is really something like a teacher would do, really assess, okay, what's the level of that depth that I can get into, and now we can all have that like custom made with
Exactly.
these tools.
Like the whole education system is going to crumble in the next years. The way we educate ourselves and the way we educate our children, I believe this system is going to crumble altogether. Because now with AI is the best teacher ever.
I think so too. So I'm really curious to also see like what kind of impact this will have on either like primary schools and also high schools, because I've talked to some people about this, and some people are already like really understand how to use these tools like ChatGPT and how to get started with it, and there are some people who are just like, well, I don't know. But to me, if I look back at my younger self, like in high school, and thinking about homework assignments, like I was the type of like student that would at all costs try to like skip the homework assignments because I wanted to play video games all day. For me, if I had access to ChatGPT, I would have just like you can even like take photos right now and like get with OCR, optical image character recognition. Means you can take a photo, it will interpret the text, so you can have your textbook, create a photo, send it to ChatGPT, and you get the answer. Even do like math problems, all kinds of things.
Okay, but AI will be able to create a video for you so that you can play video and learn in the same time.
Yeah. It's
That's
much
possible.
More,
That's going to be possible. Really
that is because with like you said, with the homework assignment, you can go two ways about it. You could either just like, I'll let the AI do the homework and just fill it in, or you can say I let the AI do the homework, but also like explain it to me
and teach me in the way that I understand.
Exactly. Whereas in class, you might be where the teacher might have already like explained it like one or two times, and then you might feel a little shy, or you don't want to feel like you're stupid by asking one more time. You know, like this is something that I had sometimes when I was following the teacher, and I was like, oh, everyone seems to understand this, but I don't know. Oh, I must be stupid. So I'm not going to ask, you know, like this happens. This is pretty common, I believe, for students.
AI is going to be your personalized teacher.
Yeah.
And it's changing the game of education, because the AI can understand your psychological profile.
Yeah.
AI can understand really fast how you process information. AI can understand your context. AI can understand your family background.
Wow.
What's going on with your parents. AI can understand really fast that you come from a family with troubles. Maybe your father has an alcoholic problem, or your mother has a history of drug abuse, and so on. And AI can understand all of this and be available for you 24/7 to guide you and to teach you, customized to all this, to your context.
Yeah.
And this is definitely changing the game.
Yeah.
And another key point here, he's not going to judge you.
That's well,
AI is not going to criticize you in class with 30 people around you. He's not going to make, you're not going to feel ashamed if you don't know something. And he's always going to be up to date with all the available information, which no teacher in this world can do.
True.
So AI will learn instantly whenever something changes, whenever science comes and says, okay, we thought the earth is flat, round, now it's flat.
Yeah.
Okay, so he will know this information like instantly.
Yeah,
This
and
is going to be up to date all the time.
Yeah, in the future. So right now, of course, we have the cutoff points
Yeah,
for
okay,
OpenAI, but
yeah.
eventually you'll have these models up to date, like
Exactly.
maybe in real time, like
For sure,
scraping,
for sure in
retraining,
real time.
updating.
Yeah. We're not there yet.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
ChatGPT is September 2021.
21,
but
yeah.
I believe we're getting there.
We're
Okay.
getting there.
We are there already with vectorized information.
Yeah, true.
Okay? We are not there with retraining,
Yeah.
but with vectorized information, the kind of tools we explain here, technology is there, we have it today.
Exactly.
I gave this example when I'm thinking about medicine and I'm thinking about doctors.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, medicine is like this. You go to school, and it's a very hard school.
Yeah.
To become a doctor is probably one of the hardest things to do as a human. If you go the right way. Okay, so you go to school and you spend many years in school, and then you go out and you go to hospital and you have training and so on. And from the time something revolutionary comes up in medicine, to the point that you can implement it as a doctor, so something new appears in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
A doctor is testing something there, and he understands that some medicine has some specific effect in a specific context.
Yeah.
From that point, which is valuable for medicine and for humankind, to the point where you as a doctor in Bucharest can implement and recommend a treatment based on that discovery, right now it can take maybe 10 years, 15 years.
So, wow.
Like the psychology information is because you have to do testing, a lot of
trials,
testing and trials and so on. Okay, maybe the information is not your peers don't trust the information, they don't validate you. Maybe they don't like you, and just because they don't like you, your theory doesn't penetrate the field. So there are a lot of subjective context that can limit the access to that information.
Yeah.
AI is not going to work like that. AI is going to process everything from the entire world. Everything that any doctor in the world sees or tests or finds out, AI is going to have access to the information. It's going to process it objectively, not subjectively, and then he can say, okay, we have to do a trial on this. And right now they can do the trial. It will be able to do the trial virtually, because we understand a lot about DNA and genome and so on. And maybe in like 30 days, you and Bucharest can recommend the treatment based on that discovery. Which is, again, no human doctor can do that. The same is going to happen in education. The same is going to happen in sales. The same is going to happen in, research, like battery research, energy research, and so on. Like, it's absolutely endless.
Yeah,
in all fields of life.
Yeah. It's going to so rapidly accelerate the way we can process and consume and make sense of information, of which there is a lot out there. And this is a very nice use case that you talked about, for example, with medicine, how valuable that can be, and even save lives.
We've already saved lives.
Yeah, by speeding up that cycle of how quickly can you get information over here to the sources, to the textbooks, to the professionals that need it. Yeah. And also, I think one thing I would like to touch upon, this idea of you talking about education and making the AI understand your own like context, your situation, and just your way of thinking, to really tailor advice and information to you specifically. I think what we'll see into the future in the future, and this is something my brother actually already started to experiment on. So he's also big into AI. We do AI projects together, and he already ran into this issue, for example, with ChatGPT, where sometimes you want answers a little more tailored to you, and then every time you create a new session, you have to provide some context, like, hey, I'm XYZ, this is what I do, this is my business, or whatever. I really think in the future we will all have a digital identity, a digital passport in some form. What this would look like, this could maybe be something for like blockchain technology, something like that, where you have kind of like a digital passport with all kinds of information and metadata that you can make available to it. So if you feel like it's important for AI to understand that you are, your background, your religion, your whatever, your education, and that these AI tools that we'll be working with will be integrated with this digital identity, with this digital passport, but seamlessly. So without having to do, I don't know, setting it up, configure it. It will just be, you go online, you interact with your tools, you take your phone, and this AI, which will be in it will be in everything that we're going to use, in all the software, all the technology that we'll use, AI will be in there. And then immediately it will understand that context of you, and then by default, everyone will have a very unique experience tailored to them. I think that is something, a great product that someone's going to invent, that some company will create, because I think it's critical in really making AI applicable for on the personal level, really adjusting it. And it will save a lot of time by having to provide the context.
I remember like 3 weeks ago, I was seeing somebody from the tech industry, from Silicon Valley, and the headline of the podcast was like this: humans will disappear in 100 years.
Oh?
Of course I clicked.
Yeah. What's this?
What's this?
Yeah.
And the theory was that we are going to integrate ourselves into technology, us as humans, so much that this is the last 100 years for us as biological beings, as we are today. Because the need to integrate to Neuralink and sensors on is going to be so valuable for us that we are going to transcend into something else. This is actually scary for me. So I like my country. I have a house at some rural area. Yeah. And I'm going to move there and spend more and more time over there behind technology or with less technology. Yeah. Personally, I don't want to integrate myself into AI. I don't want to have a chip in my brain now. Yeah. But I know if I was today like 20 years old, I will have no chance. Like society is evolving, and the only way you can succeed in society is to understand it and to integrate yourself, and with the technology that's available for us. Yeah, pretty scary stuff.
It's pretty scary. Yeah, if you then start to think about Neuralink and what the possibilities of that could be, like integrating the chip, which has access to the internet, to information, and to this AI, and then if somehow that can feed information directly into your brain at like the speed of light, things are going to get weird.
Neuralink is one of the companies that I watch really close, and I'm always looking at their press releases and so on. Mm-hmm. And their statement is like this. Elon says that they are going to be able in a couple of years to solve all brain problems, all dysfunctionalities of the brain, all. Like you're blind, it doesn't matter. With Neuralink, you're going to see. You're deaf, it doesn't matter. With Neuralink, you're going to see. Whoa. Like there is no brain problem, medical problem, that Neuralink is not going to solve. They say they are really powerful on this statement, that they do really understand how the mechanics of everything. Mm-hmm. Now it's just a question of, and they have the technology, and they tested on pigs and monkeys. That was unbelievable. Yeah, okay, and now a couple of months ago, I know initially they didn't get the approval, but as I remember correctly, they are really, really underway to get approval for human testing, especially for Alzheimer and Parkinson and so on. That's absolutely shocking because, as you said, and also another statement was that once you have Neuralink, we are going to communicate without words. We are not going to need words anymore. We can just communicate using Neuralink, which is like, what the?
Then we're definitely heading into next phase of humanity where we're not really like Homo sapiens anymore, but we head into the next phase. It's hard to imagine right now, like that level, but we're likely like going there in terms of like first we're going to use this technology to help people, of course, with disability dysfunctions,
and we are going to use it to make bad things also, for sure. As any technology.
Yeah, this is just a side effect of understanding what's going on up here and knowing how we can interfere to, on the one hand, help people with disabilities, which is beautiful, but then on the other hand, we can do all kinds of things.
It's a dual world. This is something that we need to understand. Yeah. We live in a world of duality. Like everything can be good and also everything can be bad. So it's just the way this life, this is how things work right now.
Yeah. I think it was Elon one time talking about how right now the way we as humans communicate with each other, but also how we interact with technology. There are so many bottlenecks in terms of
fingers.
I have an idea. It's kind of like instant. It's like, okay, this is what let's say an idea or a goal. This is something I want to do, and this is either something I want to communicate to you. So then I have to think about this. Okay, I know what I want to say, but okay, how do I articulate this? How do I make sure that you understand it? And of course, you internally have to process it, listen to it, and there will be noise because I have an idea, I communicate it, but not perfect. You interpret it, and then it gets more noise, more diluted to what I originally wanted to say. And he really said, like, yeah, this technology, Neuralink, is going to change that, to make things just more efficient, more effectively. And as we've seen, I guess, like throughout humanity, whenever we can make things better for us,
simple,
easier for us, we're going
to
to do it. So I think there's no stopping.
Of course,
There's no stopping there. Same with
yeah.
technology. It's beautiful what we have going on over here, but that I have to like think of something and I have to like click here with my fingers to do it. I only have 10 fingers, you know. Like, what if I had 1 million fingers? That's kind of what's going on over here. You have not unlimited, but millions, billions of neurons and parameters that you can tweak individually just by thinking, that can output information.
Would you put yourself on a Neuralink chip?
I don't know.
You had the option today?
I don't know.
Okay, let's communicate faster with computers.
Okay, no, today definitely not. But I could see a future where I'm really like open-minded and try to be an early adapter with all of these things. When it's safe and when I can see a benefit for me.
So if you see Elon putting a chip, you'll put yourself on.
I think some more people than just Elon would have to do it.
He's not trustable.
to convince me. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like trust him, but he's also a bit crazy.
Yeah. You've seen him with Cybertruck. He cannot be trusted with the Cybertruck presentation. He's smashing the windows.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to tell. I really like the idea, but it's really scary. It's really scary.
Another scary technology that is already here, and I can't wait to see it. It's Apple glasses.
Yeah.
That's absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's also.
So
really
I read some
interesting.
papers that said that right now we have the technology for the VR, for the virtual reality, so that the brain doesn't make the difference between real world and virtual world. The technology is there, we have it, it's just not put into production yet. From the theoretical point of view, we know how to do it, but we just don't have the hardware. It's the same problem with artificial intelligence. We already knew for the last decades how things should work in theory, but the hardware wasn't there yet to process all this kind of information. The same goes with VR. So the estimation is that by 2030, the technology will be so advanced that your brain will not make difference between real world and virtual world.
Wow.
And imagine that in less than 100 years after the first video game.
Yeah,
like the first video game was like 1970, like that dot. So less than 100 years, humanity is able to create a virtual world that is indistinguishable. You cannot make distinction from the real world.
Yeah.
And we go to that discussion that we had last night. Is Matrix a documentary or a sci-fi movie? Because the more you see how things develop, the more you say, oh my God, that was a bloody documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Is this all real, or are we living in a simulation?
We agree that we live in a simulation, but this is for another podcast.
Another topic we can dive into. But that's amazing. That just like in the span of one human lifetime, we go from the first video game to in the future being able to put something on, a headset on, and just not being able to tell what's going on, and then integrated with AI and being able to on the fly create virtual worlds,
customized for you.
Yeah. What I also find a really interesting idea and about AI, generative AI, and then more from the perspective also of video generation. So right now, video generation is getting there. With images, it's already really good, and it's going so rapidly. But an image, a video is just 24 or 25 pictures after one another. So if you can really nail images,
you are going to nail video.
We're also going to nail video. Very fast. We're already seeing some great examples. It's getting better, and I believe in a year we probably have decent, fully AI-generated videos. But then you have this idea. also, again, coming back to the notion of this digital passport or identity, we can create scripts, we can create stories. Now we have Netflix. So at home, at night, you maybe like turn on Netflix, you say, I want to watch a show based on this because I like this kind of genre, I like whatever. In the future, you can get like on demand, create something completely new.
For you.
For you. A story, a whole like full movie or a complete like...
A therapeutic story. Maybe you're in depression, maybe you're close to burnout, and AI is going to understand that, and he's going to present a movie for you that is going to take you out of that
You can even create,
state.
You can create a movie with you as the main actor. You just upload a bunch of pictures, some video of you, you upload your voice, and then you say like, okay, now I want to watch a blockbuster action movie where I am Spider-Man. I don't know.
No problem. We can
Boom.
do that.
And then you're there.
And the technology is here already. It's not something that we need to invent. We already have this technology. It's just a problem of accelerating the development.
How crazy is that? That would mean that at some point, like everything that's going on in Hollywood right now, that anyone could just with a prompt could create a Hollywood blockbuster movie as it is today.
You know, the main question that I asked myself in the last year, after I really dived in, because I'm into this AI for like 5 to 6 years, but not dived in. Like I knew we made some projects, but in the last year, I'm like 100%, 150% into AI.
Yeah.
So my main question and concern is like this. I believe that we are living the end of capitalism. I cannot project any scenario in which the way society works right now is going to survive everything that's going on. Even if we stop today everything. If today we say, okay, let's make a law and stop everything. Mm-hmm. There is no AI development research. It doesn't really matter. The advance is so, the technology is so far ahead and advanced that the impact is here anyway.
Yeah.
I don't see any scenario in which capitalism as it is today is going to survive, because this, as I said, AI can take decisions and AI can create stories.
Yeah.
And now it can fake stories. It can invent stories and it can invent videos. This deep fake problem is going to be a really big problem, especially next year. Next year we have elections in the United States. We have have elections in Romania and so on. It's a very interesting year. It's a milestone. 2024 is going to be a milestone for human society from a lot of points of view. So using this technology, and they are going to use it, they are going to impact the way we vote for sure. Yeah. For sure. I think 2016 was just a training, just testing the way things work. 2020, okay, COVID and so on. But next year, all this technology are going to maturity. Okay, they can be used. And there is, when you don't have access to it, when you don't understand how technology works, it's going to be really easy to fool you.
Definitely.
Really easy.
There's not enough awareness yet for this and the use of deep fakes, and maybe also the platforms are not prepared fully yet to like monitor and flag it instantly, because I believe that's what will happen potentially. The platforms will try to flag it, of course. Like, for example, Facebook.
But there are so many channels right now of distribution of information that you cannot flag them all. No. And then, you have a couple of big players that have interest to protect it, but there are so a lot of, thousands of small players that don't have the capacity, the hardware, or the interest to flag anything. So, they are going to flag it in Western societies. But in Russia, North Korea, and so on, they don't really give a shit. On the contrary, they are going to promote all these deep fakes. So that people over there that have no access to any other information. Imagine like a country where the state, the government controls the TV. Okay? They are limited in this control because they have only one news anchor or 2 or 3 news anchors. Okay. Now with this technology, they can create a dedicated news anchor for every people in the country. That can talk to you based on your context. And that can manipulate you based on your salary, on your job, on your city, on your family history, and so on. You have no chance to convince that people and to get them out of there. That's it. That society is going to stay like that, like dictatorship for the next, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of years. So I really believe this is the dark side of AI. This is the dark side. From what I'm hearing or watching, I don't see how we are going to solve this problem.
It's going to happen. And was it 2016 where we had the Cambridge Analytica scandal, kind of like
that was the point. I was like, oh my god! Looking back, that was nothing.
That was just like analyzing like data for Facebook and whatever, just to do some targeted posts. But right now with the deep fakes and all, they're going to use it, and that is also the thing with they're going to put the smartest people on there because
they're already there.
They're already on there. So that's always they have the budget for that. They're going to source the smartest people to really like work on these models. They're trying to create the deep fakes, the messaging, the analytics based on user profiles.
And imagine you have a politician that is talking personalized for you. Okay, maybe I'm on the right or on the left, doesn't matter. I really don't understand this right left anyway. But let's say I'm at the opposite side of some politician. And suddenly this guy starts to talk to me based on my concerns, based on my needs. And he's giving the message customized in such a way that I start to create a relationship with him. We talked here about this, that the fact that algorithms, in the beginning, AI algorithms in social media platforms, their first objective was to capture our attention. And they learn really, really fast how to do that. Panic, fear. Okay, that's what AI learned about humans. If you want some content viralized, go on fear. Now the battle is not only for attention, which was the first step. Now the battle is for intimacy, for connection. And AI can do that because it can invent stories. Okay, so I can have a politician talking to me based on my context, and he will convince me for sure to the opposite things that I believe now. And if he doesn't want to convince me, he can convince me that he's actually fighting for my cause. Because he can understand my cause. He may be on the left side of the spectrum, but he's going to adapt himself, his communication, on the right side for me. Because this is what politicians do. They talk whatever the masses want to hear. So he's going to tell me whatever I need to hear. And to you, he's going to say the opposite thing. And it doesn't matter because you hear something, I hear something else. And when you go to vote, we're going to put the stamp on whoever owns on whoever uses the technology in a more efficient way for his objective. This is fucking scary.
It really is scary.
This is fucking scary.
It is really scary.
Because society we have so many problems that we didn't solve. So many problems, like geopolitical problem, economic problem, and so on. And now AI is here and is going to disrupt everything.
And it goes way too fast. The scale is like exponential, so we don't have time to catch up and regulate it because all of a sudden, boom! Now it's here. We have the elections coming up, and this will be the first time where AI is at this level, both textual and visual, during a US election. And now we don't know how to regulate. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what people are going to do with it.
You saw Kamala Harris like 3 weeks ago, the Vice President of the United States. She was explaining AI. Oh my God, man! I recommend all of you look up for that video. It's absolutely fucking shocking. You know, she is explaining what AI is, and it's such a meme. She basically has no idea what she's talking about. But she talks in such a way that's, oh my God, this is how things are. That was a video that really scared the shit out of me. Because people don't understand what's going on. They have no idea. At government level, they basically have no idea. And it's scary that you see that United States. And still, over there, you had Congress hearings. We've seen a lot of Congress hearings this year. We've seen Sal Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, going to Congress and explaining things. We've seen that things are moving. European Union, the same. They have some law that they are trying to regulate AI and so on. Things are moving. In Romania, oh my God, you don't want to know. You don't want to know what's going on here. And I'm so afraid for this country. I'm actually afraid because I can see that our government, our state, the way we function is really, really, really not prepared at all for whatever is coming. Somehow, we still think that we can fix this. People still think that if they have the power, if they have the political power or whatever, this is a problem that they're going to fix somehow, because why not? We fixed so many problems in the past. No. this is so big and so huge. I was saying here a couple of weeks ago, AI will democratize access to justice. Everyone in the entire fucking world, regardless of where they're living, is going to be able to communicate with the state from the same level of understanding the law. Because AI can understand the law.
Yeah.
Okay, so now everyone has their own legal, not right now, but very fast, everyone will have their own lawyer in their phone. In the United States, there is already a platform that it's free, never pay or something like that, I don't remember, which is basically free legal with AI, and you can use that for parking tickets and whatever legal problem you have. It is basically free.
Well,
never in the history of humankind, general population had free access to justice. Never, anywhere. Okay, democracy was founded on the idea that we are all free and equal, but actually it never happened. Now, it's there. Now anyone can say, I have a problem with my neighbor, I don't like the way he's looking at me, I'm gonna sue the shit out of him. And I don't need to ask anyone. I can just open the phone, I have a problem with my neighborhood, how can I sue him?
Yeah.
Let's try. Am o problemă cu vecinul care și-a făcut casa la 1 metru de casa mea și are un geam care bate la mine în curte. Cum pot să-l dau în judecată? That was in Romania, but, you know? And I just sent his to ChatGPT, and he's going to give me options. Okay, he's not really trained on Romanian legislation for now.
Yeah.
But in the next couple of months, this is going to be accessible to anyone.
There are the options. What is it saying?
Well, he's assertive. First thing, talk to your neighbor. Second, consult a lawyer. Okay? If the discussion doesn't solve the problem. Document the problem. First step. Okay? Verify local regulations. He's giving you step by step everything.
This is already what you basically have to do, but then if it also has access to these documents.
Exactly. And he will have access to the court, and he will automatically open a court file for you. And he will send a petition automatically in your name, and so on. And this is here. And governments are really, really, really not prepared for this. Why? Because the only way to be prepared for this is to have on your side AI. This is the only way to prepare and protect the system when these overwhelming waves of clients, of people that have a problem with the government will come. To have AI and to solve this automatically with AI most of the problem. We don't have that. I don't know how it's in Netherlands. Clearly, United States is way ahead of us. But in Romania, we still talk about digitalization. This is the main discussion right now. Digitalization, not AI. And due to bureaucracy, and bureaucracy is really a big problem for the European Union, especially in Romania. Due to bureaucracy, the chances for Romania to implement AI fast are almost zero. It's basically almost zero. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, we are going to see the first wave of AI implementation in government structures, which is way too late. Way too late. I've actually have a list of countries where I want to move. To be honest, I have a list of countries.
I kind of feel like in the Netherlands, if you look at government, how they're operating, I think that's globally, these organizations tend to be a lot slower. Just in general, I feel like 2 years is also in the Netherlands is probably something that they are going to look into, potentially integrating it into their applications, whatever, going to use it.
It makes sense, because I do understand the bureaucracy of the government, and I think it was okay for society to work like that, because when you have to govern a state, you don't manage a state the same way you manage a company.
No.
You are not agile with government, because the objectives are different. A company has to make profit, okay, but the government has to take care of everyone. So you cannot take the same mindset. That's why I do believe that you cannot get really, really good entrepreneurs and they're going to be really good politicians. There's 2 different worlds. This is not how things work. And again, it makes sense to have bureaucracy and to move things slowly, because you need to understand the impact that it has on the whole society. Not only on your company when you have 100 employees or 1,000 or 10,000, doesn't matter. Well, now it doesn't make sense because things are speeding up so fast that you are going to be left behind. And guess what? The bad actors, the far right, the far left, governments, Russia, whatever, they are going to use this technology to disrupt everything. For sure. For sure, they are going to use this technology because they've already done it. Mm-hmm. And it's so cheap, why not do it?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Tomorrow is going to be another technical session. As I said, tomorrow the session is going to be between Dave and Alex. I do have some unexpected emergency back home, and I have to go there for 1 or 2 days. Then Mihai Vânătoru, our dear friend, is going to be here on Thursday with Alex Morăcineanu again, talking about AI implementation in Romanian companies, especially in SEO agency, the digital marketing agency. And that's going to be a really, really good session. And I hope I'll be back here to take part of it. We have another 12 sessions. 12 or 11? 11. Okay, my mathematics is not working right now. So another 11 session here. Nuba live, Mamaia Nord, fiecare dimineață from Monday to Thursday. And also in the afternoon, as I said, we are here the entire days. We take coffees, we meet with people, we meet with entrepreneurs. We spend time at Sisha and Argilea. As I said, we changed the restaurant. Last night we find a really, really good restaurant, Nava, very good restaurant, really liked it. And all the sessions you can find in our application, termene.ro, the mobile application, and also on our website. Again, a lot of you have come here with accommodation at our partners, Alesi. It's still available. You have a good discount over there. It's a nice hotel. Yeah, Dave likes it really, really. You made a lot of pictures there.
Already? Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's good swimming pool and gym and everything. It's really, really high class and a good revenue. Okay, questions? Okay, very technical session today. Questions from here? No question about variables and Python and stuff like that? Okay, I can understand why. I can relate to that. I can understand, no problem. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow morning, 9:30 as always. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dave.
My pleasure.